Hello, my quacky, crafty quarantiners. How's your descent into madness going? My name is Heather, and welcome once again to the Myth Rose channel. In today's video, I decide to make a DIY mask tutorial, quickly become overwhelmed by the flow of information and the reality of living through a global pandemic, and veer off into a bizarre fashion experiment. Let's get to it. So, when this all started, my partner was freaking out a little bit. Not one to sit at home and do nothing, he wanted to do something to help out, so he made a short video about flattening the curve. And along those same lines, he was encouraging me to make a mask tutorial because in his researching he had found some, but they were only from China. Again, this was what seems like an eternity ago and was actually only like 7 days ago. I was hesitant to do it because I didn't want to get anything wrong and give people the wrong advice. But at the time I thought I could sift through the information and make a well put together video and maybe help out a tiny bit. So I started with this website you're seeing here. I printed off the pattern and cut out some shells and linings for masks. Now for the shells I used whatever I had lying around, which was mostly cottonish stuff. And for the lining, I read or heard somewhere, and of course I can't find this source now, that you should use a kind of fabric that's melted together instead of woven because it has protection from smaller particles than a woven fabric. So I used an old shopping bag. Later, after going through my scrap fabric, I found 2 giant dry cleaning bags, also made of the same fabric, that I could have used because I will never use them for what they're meant for. But that shopping bag might have come in handy. So I'm starting to make these masks and it's going very slowly because although my daily routine hasn't really been interrupted by this because I'm home all day every day anyways, I am exhausted, I can't get anything done, I'm anxious, I can't concentrate for the life of me, and as this is happening and I'm very, very slowly making, oh my god, 4 masks, all this information is pouring in. So many people are trying to make homemade masks. People are asking for them because they can't find the proper ones. A bunch of different articles or studies are coming out about whether they're actually good or how you should make them. Everybody's information is different. Different hospitals are releasing different instructions. It's just insanity. Meanwhile, everyone and their dog has made a YouTube video about this, the same YouTube video that I was trying to make. Clearly, I wasn't gonna stand out from the crowd or help with any confusion. So now I've entered a state of paralysis by analysis. There's way too much information. I couldn't possibly go through all of it, let alone choose which is best. I can barely concentrate. I have no medical expertise to tell me who to listen to and who not to. People are saying different things, they're saying contradicting things. Clearly the world is confused about this, and I would only add to the madness. Also, it turned out my tabletop footage was terrible, and I had to supplement it with screen captures of going through websites because it's so bad. These are just a couple of examples that I quickly pulled up of the articles that are coming out and what they say about making homemade masks. This article from USA Today states, homemade masks are not designed to block the spread of COVID-19. The only mask that the CDC considers safe from getting the coronavirus is the N95 mask, which you definitely cannot make at home. This article from a publication called Live Science states in its subtitle that medical masks are the best option, especially for healthcare providers, although homemade masks may be the best option for some people. And this announcement from the CDC states that homemade masks are not considered PPE since their capability to protect the healthcare providers is unknown. Caution should be exercised when considering this option, and homemade masks should ideally be used in combination with a face shield that covers the entire front and sides of the face. So at this point I pivoted from helpful tutorial to fun fashion video. This part's boring to watch because it's just me trying to add the ribbons to the mask so that you can tie it on your face. But I left it in because later, only much later, did I remember that I have giant tapestry needles that I could have just threaded them through so easily. But instead I used a long shish kebab stick and tweezers and a pencil, and it took me like half an hour. This quarantine has already fried my brain. Well, probably not the quarantine since I'm not that much more isolated than I usually am, but just living in the middle of a global pandemic really does something to your thinking machine. So then I spent way too much time decorating these masks and making them absolutely impossible to sanitize, but super fun looking. This one was really easy to decorate, it went really quickly, and I really liked how it turned out. The little machine I'm using heats up so that the glue on the back of the rhinestone sticks to the fabric. So it heats up the rhinestone and then the glue, and then it sticks to the fabric. This fabric, however, is very meltable. So when I first started putting the rhinestones on, the tool slipped because the rhinestones are slippery from the rhinestone to the fabric and immediately melted it. I just barely touched it and there was a perfect circle in the fabric. But then I just put a rhinestone on top of it and it was fine. This mask I think was the most fashionable, and why do I care about that? Why would anyone care about that? I honestly think this event is really gonna change a lot of things forever or for a really long time. And viruses like this might become a part of our new reality, and mask wearing might also, so gotta make it stylish. I think I'll also use it as a part of my apocalypse outfit, which is the next video I'm working on. To be clear, I don't think this is the end of the world. I was going to make an apocalypse outfit anyway at some point to talk about my anxieties about global warming, but then this happened and it became a lot more relevant. This mask ended up being my favorite, I think just because the name came very easily. It's the butterfly effect, and it applies very well to our current predicament. This virus is so contagious that all your actions can have huge reactions, not just equal and opposite ones. But I definitely should have sewn on that damn butterfly before I assembled the mask. It was a pain in the ass and could have gone a lot quicker if I did it earlier in the process. I should mention I planned for this video to take 2 days and it ended up taking, I think, over a week or a solid week. I don't know, time is weird now. Anyways, this is me when I kind of started caring about my appearance again. My hair's all tied up because I brushed it but didn't wash it. I stink real bad in this shot. I hadn't showered in days and just couldn't convince myself to. But I've showered since then. I'm perking back up, people. Now, as long as the butterfly mask took me to decorate, this took me 6 times longer. It's also probably the most dangerous mask in the collection, the least able to be sanitized, because what did I do? I put 1,000 beads on it. I had some coin beads that were given to me from my sister, who had got them from my aunt, who used to make belly dancing costumes. And who'd have thought they'd end up on a mask during a worldwide pandemic? Life is weird. So after spending what felt like a million hours feeling 10 million emotions, sewing on 6 beads, I gave up and then decided to do it while lying in bed. So I didn't make a helpful tutorial and instead ended up making 5 totally useless masks. But it was a little therapeutic. I hope this video was relatable. This pandemic is making me feel a lot of things all of the time, all at once. But at least it's showing me that my ability to cope with anxiety has definitely improved over the years. Also, I'm super glad I started taking anxiety meds just before this happened. Good Lord, I'd probably be in a ball on the floor, unwashed, unkempt this whole time if I didn't have those meds. Oh my God. But now that I'm kind of back on my feet and adjusting to this new reality, I do plan to figure out if I should and how to make masks and what hospitals to send them to see if I can help. If I can, I will. I won't be making a video about it, but I'll take short clips and pictures and update Instagram with that.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and stay away from each other.